hello. My name is Jenna. This is 11:11 with Jenna. I am here 7 days, 7 nights, 14 times a week. And it is Saturday. It's Saturday, April 16th. You have till Monday. Just saying, if you haven't done it yet, get her done. Get her done, people. What an incredible day. I had such a super cool day today. Wow. Thanks, Rich. Guess what? Check this out. You probably can't really see it, but I'll do my best. Can you see? Can you see who that is together in one photo? Let's see. Lillian Pearl and Cashew in the same photo on the same street. College Avenue, Rock Ridge in the house. Rich, Jenna, Lillian, and Cashew. I met Cashew. I met Cashew today. Today, I met Cashew. For real, in real time. And of course, meeting Cashew means meeting Rich. So Lillian Pearl and I met Rich and Cashew today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Standing ovation right now for Rich. Me saying, hey, what are you doing in the next 15 minutes? Because I have about a 45-minute window to walk. Boom. Standing ovation. Rich. That's right, that's right, that's right. Who's here? Patty Lohman, Mama Grace, Julie Luce. Warriors, warriors. Woo! Run, are you there? Hey, Bill, are you selling your skincare line yet? I'm selling, I have a little bit of the serum and I have the Gone Girl Balm. Happy Easter, off to Seder. Happy Pesach, peaceful Pesach. For reals, I want that bottle of wine behind you. You have no idea. Hey, Swellville, you have no idea. Tell me about it, Jill. How good that bottle of wine is. Here's the very last part of that bottle of wine. It's a Malbec. It's spectacular. I think it's the best wine I've ever had in my life because it's Saturday night. And when it's Saturday night, Jill, this is what happens right here, right now. One more Saturday night. One more Saturday night. Hey
Hello.
there. Hi
Hello.
there. Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. You're not sunburned anymore.
That's right. I was a little bit sunburned last. A lot has happened since last Saturday. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, there was the last day of that festival, and then I was in LA for one more day, and then I flew back on Tuesday, and took my brother to Yankee Stadium for his birthday on Thursday, and went to
How much fun was that?
It was extra fun because the Yankees won, but it was also my first game of the year, and we did it upright. And I found out the halal guys have a stand at Yankee Stadium this year, which made me extra happy. And yeah, it was great. And then last night was the Seder at my cousin's place on Central Park West, and I just got back from an exquisite show by Wilco, so it's been a kind of a full plate.
Every single day, something.
Just about. I mean, Wednesday was kind of a total loss because our flight back from LA on Tuesday was long. It was one of those deals where, if you fly out of Burbank is a peculiar airport because it's got very short runways. Yeah, so because it's between the Hollywood Hills and whatever the other hills are over there. And so what happens is if they have high winds, the planes can't always take off, or they have to make certain modifications so the planes can take off. And the option there is either like bumping people off the flight, dumping luggage off the flight, or what they did was they dump fuel and they do a short hop to Las Vegas to refuel, which has normal long runways, and then they can fill the plane up. So we spent more time than we needed to in Las Vegas without even being able to get off the plane and lose any money. I was hoping they'd maybe have have a lounge act come on the plane and
Right,
do,
right.
do half an hour or something, but
Magic,
no.
magic, magician or something. Come on.
Yeah, so between taking off late to get to Vegas and getting to Vegas and the fueling taking longer than they had originally said, got home around 1 a.m.
And it was Wednesday. That's the day I traveled, and there was a lot of weather happening.
Right. So Wednesday was kind of a wash here, that was and then in between, still working on the house. So Thursday put in work on the house, then went to Yankee Stadium. Yesterday put in work on the house, went to the Seder. Today put in work on the house, went to Wilco. So juggling a lot.
You and your brother flew back together.
Yeah.
That's cool. Isn't that fun?
Sometimes. He's fun sometimes. Anyway, we're back to work on the insane project, which I don't even want to discuss right now.
All right, we won't.
I'm still feeling the afterglow of Wilco, which was just a sublime.
Tell us about Wilco.
Well, Wilco is doing this. I'm not even sure it's a full-fledged tour. It's like a couple of residencies. One in there, like 5 shows in New York, and then a bunch of shows in their hometown of Chicago. And there's a theme. They're doing their, maybe their most beloved album, Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, in its entirety. They opened the show with Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. Actually, a string quartet opened the show.
Ooh, who is that?
I'm going to space on their name. I can look it up, but
was it Ethel?
No, it wasn't Ethel. It's Zuri Quartet or something like that. I'll look it up while we talk. But they're friends of Wilco's, and I think Glenn Kochi, the drummer, who's very much in the new music world, has worked with them. And they played a little group of beautiful compositions. I have to find out who they were composed by. And then they joined Wilco for the whole Yankee Hotel Foxtrot sequence and some of the later songs as well. And they also had a horn section, which included the delightful and brilliant and someone I've known since she was 6 months old, Natalie Cressman on trombone.
I've known Natalie before Natalie was even a thought on the planet.
Right. I mean, I've known Jeff and Sandy for like maybe 40 years, close to 40 years now. And
she's fab.
Yeah. So Natalie's amazing, and she's one of the most in demand players, and has so much going on. She's got her own solo career and her duet with Ian Facchini, and she's still playing with Trey. And she was in a Broadway musical for a while. She was in the Cher musical.
Yeah, that was fun.
Funny you should say. Yeah.
Musical.
Yeah. So she's just blowing up everywhere, and there she is with Wilco, and that made me so happy.
That's so cool.
So they play the whole album, and then it's interesting. They wanted what they played for the rest of the show. It was a shorter Wilco show than usual, but it didn't feel short. It felt very full and very satisfying because that album is so great. Every song on that album is a classic. And then they do maybe about another half hour after the album. And it's not like total crowd pleasers, some real obscurities and some things they thought were kind of thematically consistent with what they had just played. So it was great. It was a very well thought out, beautiful. All I need to hear is Nels Cline play the guitar, and I'm set for the night. But everyone sounded great, and so that was A beautiful thing.
We have a lot of people here right now. April Bruce is here. Rob Morocco's here. Patty Lohman. Grace Mammina. Hi, Mama Grace. Rich is here. I met Cashew and Rich today.
I heard about that. See,
Saw
I'm not.
Henry Wimmer after that. It was a Henry Wimmer, Rich, and
Wow.
you. Yeah.
Wow. And Jill Swellville is here. Hey, Jill.
Jill Swellville. Jill's part of the. I'm just waiting to find a spot for Jill to come on the show. She's been here the last 3 or 4 days. Thanks to you. Thank you, Gary.
Wonderful. Well, happy to help bring that together.
Yeah.
And Cheryl's here, Cheryl Grusky.
Cheryl's here, and Warriors won. And
excellent.
I'm psyched. And I heard a new band. I have to play this for you guys. Just under 10 seconds. The band is called Sinister Twist.
I like that.
And guess who's going to make a record with Sinister Twist? This guy right here.
Yeah. I like this already.
This is called Someone from the Past. I'm obsessed.
I dig it. I've got to check them out at length.
Obsessed with Sinister Twist.
Very good.
That's not going to happen until after Jazz Fest, after the gig with Peppino D'Agostino and John Arbor, and after
Dizzy's.
Right.
Dizzy's. The news got officially dropped. I love it.
May 24th. Jill Swell, get down to Manhattan on May 24th. I want to meet you there.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So Rich is asking how you and I met.
I can describe it. Well, I had actually heard Jenna sing before we actually met. She was singing with some friends of mine in different combinations. This band called Mean Joe Green and the Kid, which is one of the funniest band names ever.
Great band.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. And so then there was this concert at the Berkeley Community Theater. Yeah. And it was actually the first show that was ever played under the name Phil Lesh and Friends. It was actually, in fact, a stealth concert by the Grateful Dead without drummers. It was acoustic. It was a benefit to help bail out music and arts programs in the Berkeley schools. Mm-hmm. Phil, being an alumnus of Berkeley High, was just very concerned about those terrible kind of budget cuts. That
they used to sneak us in to the public schools and say, Joe, if I let you in the side door Tuesday morning, can you sneak in with a guitarist or a keyboardist or someone and hang out with my kids for an hour? I'd be like, yeah, what's the side door? They'd you knock on the door and they would whisk you into a room because it was basically illegal to teach music and art in the schools.
Yeah, I mean, Berkeley, for those who don't know, I mean, all our Bay Area friends do, I'm sure, but of the other 1111 fans around the country may not know, the Berkeley Public Schools had this absolutely trailblazing music education program emphasizing jazz. And a man named Herb Wong, who was a Bay Area
Dr. Herb
music journalist and DJ and all around scholar and educator, helped start these programs on the elementary school level. And then there was a great man named Phil Hardiman, who directed the band at Berkeley High School and was mentor to this amazing generation of musicians. I mean, you go to people like David Murray and Craig Handy and Joshua Redman and all of our friends. I mean, Peter Applebaum, Stephen Bernstein, Jeff Cressman, Peck Allman. Yes, so many great musicians came out of that program. And it was unthinkably slated for demolition, for
Done.
defunding. It was not going to happen. And a campaign started, and Phil Lesh, with whom I was working very closely at the time, said, well, we're going to put something together. And what we put together was this set by Phil Lesh and friends, as we said, and that was Jerry, Bobby, Vince Welnick, and Phil playing acoustically. And then the first half of the concert was all Berkeley High alumni. Peter Affelbaum put together a modified version of the Hieroglyphics Ensemble. Michael Wolf, the piano player, brought his trio.
Both of them have been on the show, actually.
Right. Country Joe McDonald, who grew up in Berkeley, was on the show. And then, this wonderful acoustic set by my guys from the Dead. And it was a huge success. And it not only raised an immense amount of money to help bail out the program, but that it also raised consciousness, and people started donating, and people on the Berkeley City Council started saying, we can't, this cannot stand. We have to save these programs. So that concert happened. And then after the concert, there was a reception at the Berkeley Veterans Club. Is that what it's called?
Right across.
Right across from Berkeley High. It's Berkeley Community Theater, one of the great venues. It's also the high school auditorium of Berkeley High. So many people have seen many great rock concerts there. Bill Graham used it a lot, but it's the high school auditorium. So there's this reception, and I'm just in the afterglow of this thing because I had helped produce this concert, and it was just such a triumph and such a wonderful, heartwarming community event. And a volunteer at this event was us over there, I guess, greeting people and doing what volunteers do. And I say, oh, that's that Jenna who I've seen sing with my friends. And I went over and introduced myself. And the rest is history. And our relationship, I came to some more of her gigs after that. And we just would see each other and chat. And then in 1995, a year after our first meeting, there was this notion that I pursued to do this large ensemble version of the Grateful Dead's Blues for Allah album on its 20th anniversary. And I thought, is there someone I'd really like to hear sing the Grateful Dead song Crazy Fingers? That was like sort of the seed. And I said, and that would be Jenna Mammina. I think she could sing that song just exquisitely. So as a result of that, Jenna became part of our 22-piece ensemble for this performance. And other things ensued, which we won't go into in depth, but we have had a friendship of 27 years now. Is that where we are? 27 years, yeah. And immense gratitude that happened.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the invitation. And,
yeah.
And we will be, and here's the crazy thing. So Gary creates this idea that we start to plan to play at the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, see, the Grateful Dead premiered their album Blues for Allah at a private event that I was insanely lucky to be at the Great American Music Hall, a 600-seat club in San Francisco, and I managed to wangle an invitation through a friend in the radio business because it was invitation only, and that was on August 13th. 1975. So the idea of this concert was to hold it on August 13th, 1995, the exact 20th anniversary of that event, and we were in rehearsals to do this.
Rehearsals at the venue.
At the venue, yes, the venue loaned itself.
American Music Hall.
Yeah, so. We already had one rehearsal, and then the next one was going to be on Wednesday, August the 9th. And on the morning of Wednesday, August the 9th, we got the terrible news that the man who had inspired all that, Mr. Garcia, had passed away. So there was a brief discussion of doing the event anyway on the 13th. But that quickly, well, first of all, the memorial for Jerry in Golden Gate Park was on the 13th. And we all came to the agreement that it should be put off. So it didn't happen until November of that year. But that actually made it better. We were more ready. And, it was kind
we
of.
did 2 sold out shows.
That's right.
American Music Hall with musicians from the Bay Area, and my brother Nino was a part of it, and I was handed a bouquet of roses that had a bud in each bouquet, and my parents were there, and Stan and Sibylla were there. I mean, it was the place to be if you could get a ticket for those 2 nights.
Yeah.
And it moved on to New York, and part of the greatest part of it for me is that I got to perform with my brother in New York and meet all these incredible musicians, including
Ralph Sturm.
Rolf. That's how Rolf and I met.
It all comes around in incredible ways.
I would not have met Rolf if it wasn't for you. I may have, but it would have taken a different time. And this is Crazy Fingers, Rolf and I playing this, and we are going to play this at Jazz Center Dizzy's on May 20th.
Absolutely. I insist. It's on my wish list way up there. It's fantastic. It's just
scary.
Thank you, Jenna. So that's a pretty comprehensive answer, I think, to Rich's question.
There you go, Rich. And Rich and I met today for the very first time. We had never met in live. We were in the same space today on College Avenue. And
fantastic.
I met Cashew, and Lillian met Cashew, and then we saw Henry, like I said, and Henry has a record store in town, and Rich is going to be working at the record store while Henry and his partner and I are in New Orleans during Jazz Fest.
Amazing. Okay, now I just want to visualize, where on College Avenue were you?
We met at Market Hall.
Oh, of course.
Right on the corner, and we walked down to Henry's store, and then we took what used to be the Edible Complex.
Right, I remember Edible Complex.
We turned and we walked up that street and went and looked at all the gardens and hung out with the dogs. It's now called Grapevine, and what used to be the lobby where I played with my bands for many years is Ben and Nick's. I think Ben and Nick's. So yeah, and look at it right now. Boom.
11 with Jenna. 11 with Jenna. 11 with Jenna. 11. Who you gonna call right now? 11 with Jenna. With Jenna. 11 with Jenna. Right now. 11 with Jenna. With Jenna. 11. Who you gonna call right now?
So yes. So we met. Have you met Rich before?
I don't believe so.
You have a lot of friends in common.
I'm sure we do, but I have not been in the Bay Area much in recent years, so don't think we've had the opportunity.
So are you sitting on the couch?
I'm on the famous. So there were people at Ventura saying that I have to bring the couch next year.
Oh, you'd have to. I'm thinking you mentioned that there's some extra fabric. I'm thinking that I need a suit made out of the extra fabric.
We've talked about that. I talked to John. John Mayer really helped make the couch famous. He brought up the couch when we were doing the live stream halftime show, and it was actually during the thing the year before, Shakedown Stream. When we were showing vintage Dead shows, and John looked at the fabric on the couch and said, "Is that a jacquard?" I said, I don't know what a jacquard is. And, John referred to himself as a textile nut, which is a great, great thing to be obsessed about, I think, textiles.
I'm a big, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
John Mayer, pop star, guitarist extraordinaire, and textile nut.
textile nut. And
Textile nut.
I will be performing 2 John Mayer tunes in New Orleans and at Dizzy's Jazz at Lincoln Center.
It all converges so beautifully.
It's for real. So where
Yeah.
did you see Wilco tonight?
At the United Palace, which is a theater in Washington Heights, which was inactive. You know, it was one of, there were these movie palaces in New York, I think run by the Loews Corporation, which were called the Wonder Theaters because they were all truly palaces. They had incredible architecture and beautiful lighting effects in the ceilings. There was one right near me called the Loews Valencia in Jamaica. And it had this sort of like Spanish Renaissance architecture. Like there was like a little skyline up at the top of the proscenium of the stage. And then like a sunset would occur before the movie. This is just for going to the movies. You know, in the older days, it was movies and vaudeville and all that stuff. But, you know, you used to go to movies in such incredibly elegant surroundings. I remember when people would put on like, you know, coats and ties to go to movies, and you know, people would dress up and get reserved seats.
They take a shower before they went to the movie.
Yeah.
They wear their pajamas and flip flops.
Yeah. You know, when I was growing up, all the big movies would open in Manhattan first, and then they'd more gradually get out to the outer boroughs. So, you know, my folks would drive us into the city to see West Side Story or Around the World in 80 Days or Ben-Hur or some big, you know, some big epic. And the theaters were worthy of these big epics. The Paramount in Oakland. Melanie is absolutely right. Hi, Melanie. Yeah, the Paramount was another one that was almost demolished, and was saved shortly before I moved out there. You know, there was that. They started having concerts there with Boz Scaggs, those black tie Boz Scaggs concerts in the 70s. The Chicago Theater is another. The Pantages in LA. I mean, there are incredible. Radio City, of course, is one of the ultimate. So the interesting thing about, I don't think all the Loews Wonder Theaters are still in business. I think the Loews Paradise in the Bronx is still there. But the only thing that saved the Loews Valencia, my neighborhood one, and the United Palace is that they were bought by churches. You know, churches which have a lot of money, evangelical churches, you know, and they put a lot of money into preserving them. So these theaters are absolutely intact. You know, their original 1920s splendor. And so the United Palace, they started leasing out. The United Palace is still a church for much of the week. They have Sunday services there. I guess Wilco has to load out today and come back.
So they can have church tomorrow?
I think they'll probably have church tomorrow.
Really?
I imagine.
What about the King's Theater in Brooklyn, Jill?
The King's is one of them. Yes,
Okay.
the King's, which also just recently reopened as a music venue. And I think they've been doing shows at United Palace for about 7 or 8 years now. And it's a wonderful place to see a show. And Wilco booked themselves 5 shows there. And I'm going to be at a couple more of them.
Are you?
Yeah.
How fun. Apparently in Cleveland, Dave Love said lots of historic theaters in Cleveland. Yeah, that's right. I love Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland rocks, man. Cleveland seriously rocks.
Yeah. Oh, and you know, so they were able to save the Fox in Oakland, of course.
Yeah.
That's now a functioning venue. And there's I guess there's a little controversy about the Castro in San Francisco because it's being taken over as a cause. I mean, I think it's going to be fine. You know, like
it's like the Yankee Theater. I mean, what they're
yeah, you know, they're going to. They've promised to keep movies as part of the rotation there. I think it's really hard to sustain like a 14, I think the Castro's like 14 or 1500 seats. And that's hard for a single screen, art movie theater, because there just isn't that big an audience, so I hope they're going to absolutely spruce up the venue. It's in need of some refurbishment, and they are going to keep having.
Yes.
I-
I mean, it'll be. I'll go there to
Yeah.
hear. Maybe.
They're going to keep having like all the film festivals that have been using it, the LGBTQ plus film festival, and the I think the film noir festival is gonna come back there. It's been at the Grand Lake lately, but I think it's gonna come back to the Castro. And they have so film will still be in the mix. So
One of my favorite memories ever at the Castro was the Sing It Wizard of Oz.
oh right.
And I went by myself, I dressed up,
Hmm.
and I was there, and we sang the whole movie.
That's fantastic.
Such a blast.
That's so great.
So great.
Yeah, I used to go to silent movies a lot at the Castro with full organ accompaniment, which was a great experience.
That's fun. And the Grand Lake is beautiful too. We drove by there today.
Yeah,
That's one theater. Imagine that.
Well, the Grand Lake's been split up into smaller ones.
But originally,
Oh yeah, it was, sure. I went there when it was just one.
I love the one room, the Egyptian room.
Yeah, beautiful.
My friend Carrie Myers is a
Mhm.
painter, painted the Grand Lake and the Fox Theater.
Wow.
He did all that, when you go into the Fox Theater now and the ceiling is all painted, that's my friend Carrie. That's who's going to paint my house. Like,
That's great.
I know you did the Fox Theater, but can you paint my house, please?
Right.
Can you paint this little
Yeah.
table for me?
Plus the Grand Lake has the most righteous marquees in the world. The messages are really, really great.
He's a powerful man.
Yeah.
He's done some good stuff.
Yeah.
Any epic meals this week since you've been coast to coast? And I know you had the halal.
I had the halal at Yankee Stadium. I had I think I already reported. Yeah, that was for my preview. I had the best burrito of my life in LA.
No.
Yeah, phenomenal, street tent kind of burrito stand. And what else? Well, the Seder was most excellent. My cousin Louise made her incredible brisket, and Louise and her son Teddy collaborate on the matzo ball soup. He does the broth, she does the matzo balls, and it is beyond. So
Michael made me matzah. He made matzah for 40.
Mhm.
And I said, we'll make it for 43 and bring it over this way. So
Yeah.
I tested it out on Thursday night to make sure it was okay.
Yeah. No, I ate extraordinarily well in LA. And even at the festival, there, like right down the street from my hotel, was a really nice seafood place. Yeah, I was not hurting for fine cuisine.
Just going to ask if Grand Lake still had their amazing marquee. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So what's tomorrow then? I mean, after all this.
Tomorrow I've merely got my radio show and my second Wilco show of the week. So I'm gonna.
Tomorrow night you're going to see Wilco again?
Yeah. And I'm getting to take a dear friend of mine who is she's not a Wilco devotee, but I think she may become one, seeing them in this setting and playing that album. So that's all. I always like, bringing people, sort of luring them in to an experience I love.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully we can do that on May 24th.
Oh, we will lure. We're gonna do some serious luring. When we get closer to the date, I mean, I'll be mentioning it in the intervening weeks, but when we get closer, we're gonna put the hammer down. Well, we'll get you on the radio show. We'll
I'll be in town. I get in town the Wednesday before.
Okay. And what day of the week is the gig?
It's a Tuesday.
Okay. So, well, yeah,
May 24th.
we'll figure it out. Well, yeah, we would have to do it by phone rather than in person because I'm still doing the show from home. But so we don't have a studio to bring you into this time. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
That phone will travel.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. I've gone anywhere with Gary. Between my brother and Gary Lambert, my brothers and my sister and Gary Lambert, I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere. So your brother's there with you now.
Yeah, he's watching the Yankees. I don't know what's going on with the Yankees right
How
now.
long is he in town?
It's kind of open-ended until we get this job done. You know, he's
Committed.
he's got to do his time.
And one of these nights, sooner than later, you'll be on. My mom asked me tonight, did I miss the story about Gary and his parents?
Oh, all right. We'll get there.
With artifacts, with things we've never seen.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Gary Lambert. It's just my Saturdays without you are just not Saturdays to me.
I know it was that period was like it felt really off in many ways. I mean, I was too absorbed in too many things. You know, like
it all worked out. There was something else always. It was never. It's not that you were totally missed, but it was okay, and it's okay when it happens again. It's okay.
Yeah.
This show is so fluid that I'm here. I'm not going anywhere until it's my mom and I. I've already when it's I'm talking upstairs and my mom's downstairs and we're the only two on.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I was really happy I could do it from the RV last Saturday.
So cool.
That worked out so perfectly, you know. Doing the show was a blast, you know. Yeah, I was here last Saturday night, and then Sunday was the last day of the festival, and we did the radio show from the RV. It's funny because it just wound up being kind of like our normal radio show. You know, we thought about, well, if there's all these musicians here, we can bring them into the RV. But we just didn't have the logistical support. You know, it was a little, we were technically limited. We didn't have, you know, we only had like our two little headsets with microphones on them.
But was that the first show you two had done together?
No, we've done it together before. We did it.
I mean, 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like that was the first show you and Dave were in the same room together. One in Berkeley and one in Queens.
Yeah. I mean, for the vast majority of the history of the show, that's been the way it's been. Except I was in the studio in New York, and he was in his home studio in Oakland. But the last time we actually had done the show together was January 6th of 2020, because I was out there for the New Year's shows at Chase Center, and I hung in the Bay Area for a few more days, and we did the show from there. But yeah, we are totally accustomed to it's like we invented social distancing before it was a thing. You know?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, there are 11 people here right now, and I think I have some food to make. I have greens from the garden and some meat in the oven for Grace. I don't know how to cook a steak. I don't know, you guys. I'm sorry. I don't know how to cook. But I mean, I know how to cook, but I don't know how to cook meat. Right. So that's happening right now, and peas and rice. And I'm going to go have a late evening dinner and enjoy my last sip of this Malbec.
Beautiful. I might have to have a little something to eat, because I realized the way my day shook out, I only had like some cereal with fruit this morning.
That's all you had today?
Yeah. So that's the way it turned out, because I had to I was working here at the house, and then I had to jump and go to the show. I didn't get, there had initially been a plan for my friend who went to the show with me to meet for dinner beforehand, but that didn't play out. I really wanted to go to one of the great Dominican places in Washington. There's a huge Dominican seafood place called Marisco Centro.
Okay.
Which has amazing mofongo and stuff like that. So Yeah, but we couldn't get that together. So now I'm a little hungry. So I'm gonna have a little something. I
What are
don't
you
know
gonna
what.
have?
Don't know yet. Don't know yet. It'll be just something thrown together. It could be as straight up as a peanut butter sandwich. I don't know. Can't beat it. Yeah.
There is really nothing better. I did hear about someone that makes sandwiches out of Pop-Tarts today. That was a new one. They make a
That-
sandwich out of a Pop-Tart.
Yeah, if you two things, and you could probably put whatever you want in between, and it would be interesting.
I don't remember what the filling was, but
Mhm.
yeah, I thought about it. And then I asked, is it frosted or not? And they said, oh no, not frosted.
Yeah, I would go with the not frosted for that function.
Non-frosted blueberry, I'm thinking.
Excellent. Yeah.
There-
Yeah, that would work with peanut butter in between. That could work with any number of things in between.
There's the jelly.
Yeah. Amazing.
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 Thank you.
A technological innovation.
Blueberry Pop-Tart sandwiches.
All right. It won't be
You have a
long before I'm
letter for
trying
me?
that. Oh, a letter. God, I forgot about the whole letter ritual.
Brown sugar cinnamon.
Let's go with W for Wilco.
W for Wilco. Oh my goodness gracious, here we go. Lily and Pearl, she's got the show. That's her stage back there in the town. Yes, we are. Yes, we are in the town. Yes, we are. Oh, we are in Oakland, California. And I'm here with Gary. One more Saturday night with Gary Lambert. Oh, one more Saturday night. Do, 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 do. One more Saturday night. Here we are, yes, all right. And I'm gonna go say hello to my mom, and then I'm gonna have some wine with Gay Schulman. So happy Passover, everybody. Happy Easter to everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, be real nice, and everybody come on back right here while you have the most wishful thoughts and the most wild words and the most. Tell me about your heart, Gary.
What about my heart? Let's see. My heart is wide open.
Wide open. Go listen to some Wilco, everybody. Have a beautiful night. Gary Lambert, thank you again. We'll see you
It could be one more Saturday night, next Saturday night.
next Saturday night. Everybody have a beautiful night. Oh, and the full moon, there's a pink moon.
Love hard,
Love hard, Gary.
real hard. Night, everybody.
Night.